Hi, Year 4. This is our second maths lesson on Zoom. So soon we'll be getting used to this. Okay, let's go first straight to marking the work that we did in our Stepping Stones book. You either did it yesterday when we did our maths lesson, or you might have done it last term. Let's go and have a look at it just to make sure that we all got it right. Okay. There's our answers. I'll just move it down a bit. Okay, now I'm going to step us through these two just so that we remember the process, and then I'll put this back up again for you to finish marking it in a minute. So let's have a look at our whiteboard. Okay, Arun has 132 days and Ruby has 165 days. What is the difference in those two numbers? So here's our number sentence, 165 minus 132, and we need to find out what that difference is. So the first step is to take our hundreds from the 132, and we take that away from 165, and we get 65 remaining. Then we take away our 30 from our tens column. So 65 minus 30 is 35. And then we take away our 2 from our units column or our ones column. So 35 minus 2 equals 33. So the answer to 165 minus 132 is 33. The other method of doing it that we looked at yesterday was that is by doing it through addition. So for the problem 1b, Luke has 218 days, Harun has 132 days, and so our number sentence will be 218 take away 132, but we're going to solve it using addition. 132 plus 8 equals 140. Now the only reason I've put 8 in there is because by using 132 I can add 8 to get it to a round number, which is 140. From there, I'm going to add 60 because I know I've got to get up to 200 here. So I'm going to add 60 to get to 200. So I did that there. And now I'm at 200, but I need to get to 218. So I'm just going to add to my 200 number 18 to get 218. And then I add up the bits that, all of the steps that I took, the 8 plus the 60 plus the 18 to give an answer of 86. So I'll go back now for you to finish marking your other work. There we are. So the answer to 2A is 411, 2B is 628, 2C is 796, and 2D is 83. And then I'll just put these up. This was quite a tricky one, so that you can tick those yourself. And if you didn't get them right, take some time after this lesson to work out where you made the mistake, so that you'll know not to be a bit more careful with that. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. We all make mistakes, but if we have a look at why we made the mistakes, that's where we start learning from them. 138, 109, 29, 105, 11, 93, 6, 12, and 75. Okay, let's go and start our next lesson, which builds on from the previous lesson, the one that we've just finished. Okay. Over here. Okay, now we've got 131 and we're going to start at 46 and add bits on. So from 46, we're going to add on 4 to get to 50. Then our next step will be to get to 50 plus 50 gives us 100. We're at a nice round number. And then our next step will be to get to 131, which will give us our 31. And then we just add up those numbers, 4, 50 and 31, to give us 85. Okay, that's by jumping forwards. And of course, we also know we can jump backwards. And it's up to you which method you prefer to use. That's why we teach different strategies, because people are different and they can use different things depending on what the question is or depending on their preferred method. Okay, we're going to start at 114 and jump backwards. So our first jump will be back to 114 because that takes us back to 110. Let's have a look. There we are at 110. Our next jump is minus 70. Okay, which gets us back to 40. And then 2 to get us back to 38. So here's our 70 here in our tens, and we had a jump of 4 here for the first one, and then we had to put in the extra 2 at the end to take it back to 38. Okay, and I'm not going to do that one, so we'll move over to our next problem. So we're going to start looking at written methods. So these are giving you mental methods using a number line. But we also know that there are written methods as well. So let's have a look at how they're doing it here. How could you work out the amount of money left on the gift card after buying the skateboard? The gift card is for $175 and the skateboard is for $48. So our first step would be thinking of our number line, going back by 40. There's our jump of 40 because we've got a 4 in our tens position. So we're splitting up the 48 into its 40 and its 8. So there's our first jump. And then we go back by 5s to get to 130 because it's a nice round number. And then to make up that extra $3 onto the 8, because we've got 5 plus 3 is 8. So then we need to make that extra jump there. Okay, he then wrote these number sentences. 175 minus 40 is 135. 135 minus 5 equals 130. And 130 minus 3 is 127. And so then we add up all of these numbers. You can see that they match there as I explained it as we were going. Okay. And if we were to do this one, $155 on the gift card and $39 for a helmet. Now I've got to use these very difficult tools over here, so they'll be a bit squiggly. Okay, 155 minus 30 will be 125. I'm sure I'll get better at this. Okay, now we've got 125 minus 5. And that will give us 120. And then we've got 120 minus 4 is 116. Okay, and to do it the other way around, to go from the helmet at $39 and add on to get to 155. Okay, we want to add something to 39 to get to 100. So that would be 61. 100 plus something equals 55. So that would be 55. And then we need to add up 61 plus 55 and that is 116. So there would be $116 left over on the gift card. Okay, thank you everyone. You need to go and do the next 2 pages in your book if you haven't already done them. And if you have done them, then there'll be another worksheet in the work pack for the week. Okay, thank you everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow.